Captain America Civil War, the 2016 American superhero film based on Marvel comic character Captain America, produced by Marvel Studios and distributed by Walt Disney Studios Motion Picture. It acts as a sequel to The First Avenger, it acts as a sequel to Winter Soldier, and acts as a sequel to Age of Ultron in a way. It's the 13th film in the MCU and starred and directed by Anthony and Joe Russo, with a screenplay of the writing by Christopher Marcus and Stephanie McFeely. Stars Christopher Evans as Steve Rogers alongside Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark aka Iron Man, Scarlett Johansson, Sebastian Stan, Anthony Mackie, John Cheadle, Jeremy Renner, Chadwick Boseman, Paul Bettany, Elizabeth Olsen, Paul Rudd, Emily Van Camp, Tom Holland, Frank Grillo, William Hurt, and Daniel Brühl. And what is this film all about? What is it all about? Well, following after the events of Age of Ultron, political pressures mount to install a system of accountability when the actions of the Avengers leads to collateral damage. The new status quo deeply divides members of the team. Cap believes superheroes should remain free to defend humanity without government interference, while Tony sharply disagrees and supports oversight. As the debate escalates into an all-out feud, Black Widow and Hawkeye must pick a side as well as others, which leads into a massive clash. And development of the film began in late 2013 when Marcus and Feely began to write the screenplay, which borrows concepts from the 2006 comic storyline Civil War, while also focusing on story and character elements from the Captain America films, the previous ones, to conclude the Captain America trilogy. And after the positive reactions to the test screenings of Winter Soldier, the Russo brothers were brought back to direct early in 2014. The film's title and premise was revealed in 2014, and they went on to making it, released in 2016, and it received critical and commercial success. People praised the performances of Chris Evans and Downey as well as other people, action, screenplay, and the themes. The addition of Spider-Man and Ant-Man and became the highest grossing film in 2016, and billions at the box office. And yeah, this film was pretty epic. I really did enjoy this film. And why did I enjoy this film? Let's talk about the good. And there's a lot to talk about the film. The thing I like about this film is the whole plot and the concept of it. How this tiny cinematic universe it's like a big TV series, you know. This is like the episode where, you know, even though they are heroes, the government are starting to take action, starting to be they're starting to see the reality of the problem, you know. They're starting to see these superheroes, even though they are helping the day and they've saved the world on numerous occasions, people call them vigilantes because they just jump into action without, you know, the consequences of other people, you know. Like in Sokovia, when Tony Stark built when he built the Ultron program, and that caused Ultron to go crazy and attack Sokovia, and then he had to drop a whole city onto the ground to crush the Ultrons and all that lot, and it was crazy, you know, And I love the scene where you have this woman confronting Tony Stark saying that he blames him for the death of her son. None of this would have happened if Tony didn't tinker and all that lot, if he didn't do all of that. And he started to regret what he did, and he felt like maybe and it's stuff that kind of went back to Iron Man 2, when he first built his Iron Man suit and he didn't want the government to regulate over that. He didn't want the government to touch his things. He didn't want the government to do any of this stuff. I remember him not caring. He would jump into action when he felt like it. Now that he's being confronted by the reality, and the people he's trying to save are now starting to tell him that we're not really liking what you do, you know. He's starting to realize that maybe in being regulated by the government, you know, might not be a bad idea, you know. But Steve Rogers is doesn't agree with that. He feels like if they don't do that, then when things happen, they won't be able to go into action, you know. And it kind of deals with this whole inner turmoil with the Avengers. They keep fighting and having bickering and all that, and I really like it, you know. It's really great, you know. It's flipping amazing, you know. I love the cast, I love everyone in the film, I love what's happening and all that. It's really intense and just amazing, you know. What I like is definitely the villain of the show, of the film. it's this Zemo. He's basically using Bucky Barnes to kind of like mess up the Avengers in a way, and it's been revealed at the end that he did all this to tear up the Avengers because of what they did in Sokovia, how he had a family and he blames the Avengers for the death of his family. And I just really liked how none of this was like a big villain. Everyone thought it was like, you know, some Hydra agent stuff, but it was just an old-fashioned revenge story at the end of the day. And it definitely tore down the Avengers. And yeah, the thing of this film was that when I first watched it, I didn't really understand the whole existence of this film because I knew these guys were going to come back together, and it didn't really make too much sense as to why this was all happening. But when I rewatched the whole MCU and it came to this film, I realized how amazing it was and how it definitely made sense as to why this all was happening. And yeah, I flipping loved the introduction of Black Panther, his whole origin story, him being angry and vengeful towards Bucky and him wanting to get revenge after what he did to his father. And then I love how towards the end he's realizing that all this hatred and revenge is just making everyone go mad and he doesn't like it, and he's just starting to realize that yeah, all this revenge and hatred is leading people to not understanding the real truth behind the truth in a way, and I flipping love that and all that. The best scene is the airport scene with the introduction of Peter Parker's Spider-Man, and Tom Holland makes his swinging debut as the new Spider-Man, and I flipping love this new version of him. He's very young, he looks more like Spider-Man it does in the comics, like he looks more like a kid. Even Stan Lee praised Tom Holland, thinking that he was the best version of Spider-Man. He's about the right age, the right height for Spider-Man, and I agree as well. Like, this is definitely what Spider-Man should look like than like the 20-some-year-olds. Like, when he filmed this movie, he was a teenager, so yeah, it's about damn time Marvel casted a teenage Spider-Man. And yeah, I freaking love that airport scene, and man, it was so funny as well. It was great. Just a great film. People have talked the heck out of this film, and yeah, it's a long time coming for me talking about this film. I've been meaning to make a review of it, but I've really enjoyed this film. I thought everything about it was amazing. How it ties in well with the other films without not feeling like a filler film to like Infinity War and whatnot. You know, I feel like it established the characters in a way, and this is a character-based film. It's not a film based on plot. It's a film you watch for the characters, you know, how they interact with one another, how they deal with the actions of what the other person is doing in a way, and I do like it. And for that, I'm going to give this film, I'm going to definitely give this film a 9.5 out of 10, and I'm going to give it an A+. Why would I not give it an A star? Because originally I didn't like this film in the cinema, and yeah, I suppose mainly the whole concept and the whole villain plan was a little bit vague, and it could have, I feel like the script could have been a bit more tighter with that plot, but this film was nearly perfect. But thanks for watching this review. Please like and share this video and comment down below, and as always, Boydude Reviews signing out.